The books don't even fit in my tote bag. That's how many books we got, you guys. There's still some in here. Okay, so hello everyone, it is me, it is I. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ivy, also known as the Geek Goddess here on YouTube. And today we are going to go shopping because I have this wonderful thing called depression and anxiety. And I need retail therapy. I need therapy, okay? Book therapy. And so we're going to go to the bookstore and I'm going to pick out a whole bunch of books. My fiance is leaving, so he is never here for my birthday. It's not his fault. His job makes him go. Because of that, he's going to buy me a whole bunch of books so that I have something to hold me over while he's gone. I know that right now Barnes & Noble has like BOGO on romance. I'm not sure if they have it on fantasy romance. I think it's like per manager or whatever. So we'll see if they allow fantasy romance into that category. But what I do want to get into is high fantasy. So I definitely want to look at some high fantasy books, especially for a reading vlog that I have coming up. Oh, I watched this video about K-pop Demon Hunter book recommendations. I'll put it here. And there is this one specific book that I am like, I need this book in my life. So we'll see if I can find it. I don't know if it's a self-published book or if it's something that I can find in the store. So we will see. Anyways, that is it. We'll see what else we can find. See if there's any interesting new releases. We'll see what we can find. So let's go to the bookstore and oh, one more thing. I've been waiting for Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair ever since before this book even had a cover. I've been wanting this book. So that is I must buy this. This is a must buy. So I definitely have to get that book. And then we'll see what else we can get. So let's go book shopping. Come with me. Come with me book shopping. Let's go. Film somewhere where it's not too busy and there's nobody here for now. So I asked if Romantasy is a part of the romance sale, and they said typically no, but if I bring it to them, they might honor it. So I have a few books here in the Romantasy. So hopefully they honor these and they can manually do it. Other than that, I'm looking in the fantasy section because there's a lot of books that I want here. Let's check it out. Let's check out high fantasy and see if we can find some popular high fantasy books. Alright, you guys, we have done some damage. I literally just got this tote bag for being a premium member for like a Barnes & Noble premium member, and to renew it, like they always give you a tote bag every single year. So I just renewed it. The books don't even fit in my tote bag. That's how many books we got, you guys. And they did honor the Romantasy thing, the BOGO for Romantasy. So I'm that's awesome. I'm really happy about that. So we did some damage, we got some good books, and I will show you what we got when I get back home. We we did some damage. We did some damage, really, as you can see. So let me show you everything that I got from Barnes & Noble today, because obviously we needed some book therapy and we got it. And we got it. And it's also like my birthday. So double the damage, right? So let me show you everything that I got. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that they honored the Romantasy as a part of their BOGO deal, because I got a few Romantasies here, including a new release that I hadn't heard of, so we'll see if it's any good. But let me show you everything that I got at Barnes & Noble. So I'm just dipping in here. The first book that we got was Dating and Dismemberment by A.L. Brody. This is what I believe it's a cozy monster romance, and I think it takes place in a camp. Yes, so it takes place in a camp. So the girl is the Duchess of Death, and she is a monster who has haunted the woods around Camp Clear Creek for years, and she falls in love with Jarko, who is a conceited, arrogant, infuriating, and kind of hot man, right? Monster, who's also a monster. And so I've been wanting this book for a while. I've seen it all over TikTok, and I'm glad that I finally got it. I'm so excited. So that's the first book that I got. Okay, so the next book that we got is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. This is another book that I got from the K-pop Demon Hunter book recommendations video that I watched, which again, I will put here. And this one, we are following a woman named Xing Yin, who grew up in solitude with her mother, and she does something unfortunate which causes her to be exiled and separated from her mother. So she makes her way over to the Celestial Kingdom, where she learns how to do magic with the Emperor's son. And then pretty soon she has to challenge the Celestial Kingdom's emperor in this battle for some reason. And the thing is that there's also romance brewing between the Emperor's son and her. I'm assuming it's the Emperor's son. So there's that going on, but now she has to challenge the father. I'm assuming it's his father anyways. Could be wrong about that. But I am so excited for this. Okay, it's a national bestseller. It has such good reviews online on Goodreads, and I'm really excited for this. So plus, it's in that K-pop Demon Hunter book recommendations video, so I know I'm gonna love it. I know I'm gonna love it. The next book that I got this is the one that I'm excited for, you guys. I finally got Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair. So this is a book that I have literally been dying to get my hands on since before it even had a cover. I needed this book in my life because this is a Lucifer and Lilith retelling. Yeah. Yeah, and it takes place in the city of Eden. And it's like a dark romancy version of like Lucifer and Lilith in this like underground city, and I'm just so excited. Like, we've seen Hades and Persephone done so many times, but never have I ever seen Lucifer and Lilith done, ever. So I am so excited. Plus, this is a signed copy, which is so awesome. And then you can see the cover is just, oh, this is so gorgeous. This is stunning. Oh my god. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Okay, so the next book that I got here is okay. This is Rage of the Dragons by Evan Winters. Now, this is one of the books that, like I said, I really am entering my high fantasy era. And this is one of the books that was up there on one of the most recommended books for beginners. It didn't reach the top 5, but it did reach the top 10. So I'm very excited and I had to pick it up because this one just seemed so good to me. They say that this is back here it says that this is Game of Thrones meets Gladiator. plus there's dragons. It was a self-published novel, and then it was just became this like viral sensation. And then since then, it got picked up by a traditional publisher, and that's all I need to know. That's all that's back here. Literally, that's all that's back here. And everyone says nothing but good things about it. So I am so excited to finally pick this up and enter my high fantasy era. And so you're going to see quite a few high fantasy books in this book haul, because not only am I a romantasy girly, I am trying to be a high fantasy girly. So, especially because I'm obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons, I love the fantasy aspect of it. So, if you guys have seen any of my vlogs, you guys know that I play Dungeons and Dragons consistently. So I want more fantasy in my life. So there's this one. Okay, so the next book that I got is Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. And this is a book that was one of the top 5 of the most recommended books in the high fantasy for beginners genre. Like I said, I might have not told you guys, but I literally did a lot of research and like was looking up a whole bunch of fantasy booktubers and trying to get their recommendations for for fantasy books for beginners. And this was one of the most recommended books out there, Kings of the Wild. And in this one, we are following our main character. His name is Clay Cooper. And back in the glory days, him and his friends were like a group of mercenaries, and they were ruthless. They literally had so much glory and wealth, but now they've gotten older, they've gotten fatter, time has passed, they've been getting drunk too much, and it's just been a long time since the group has gotten together until one of Clay's friends, who was a part of the mercenaries, ends up at his doorstep and is like, I need you guys to help me. And so Clay has no choice but to get the band back together and go on one last adventure. I heard that this is hilarious. This is funny, very fast paced, and like, I need this in my life. I need this in my life. So I'm very, very, very excited for this. This is like, I feel like this is going to be a 5-star for me. So I cannot wait to read Kings of the Wild. Okay, next. Yeah, there's still some in here. Okay, so that was my last book in here. So, talking about controversial books, we have Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinning Dinningman. Dinningman. Everybody is talking about this book right now. Like it's like it has swept everybody off their feet. I have heard some controversial things about this book, that it can be sexist and things like that. But honestly, it's a lit RPG and it's written very bro-ish. But the fact that it's a lit RPG and it's like so fast paced, like I feel like I can get past a few little minor things, you know what I mean? So I want to see for myself if I can read this book. I feel like this is something that I would enjoy. This is another one that I feel like could be a potential 5-star, as long as, again, the sexist remarks don't like make me feel some type of way, which I can be a little bit sensitive to that. So we'll see how I feel about it. But everybody is talking about this book, and I, I'm sorry, but I joined the hype. I joined the hype. So I had to get my hands on it, and we'll see if I regret this choice. Moving on to my second bag here. So the first book that I have is A Forbidden Alchemy. This is the book that I hadn't heard of, by Stacey McEwan. So I hadn't heard of it up until I saw it today, and this looks so good. So this is a like, sue me, okay? But one of my favorite tropes, I know this is very controversial, but one of my favorite tropes is a love triangle. I know some people hate it, a lot of people hate it, but I love love triangles. Like, that is my favorite thing to read. Okay, I love it. And so this one, we do have a love triangle. We have our main character, Nina, and Nina had a friend named Patrick, who she grew up with. And as they got older, Nina and Patrick both wanted different things in life, and eventually that leads them to be on opposing sides of a war. And so Patrick's group of rebels end up capturing Nina and holding her hostage, but then Nina's ex boyfriend, or old love, old flame, ends up showing up, and he's like, hey, I need you to betray that Patrick guy in order for us to win whatever. And so now Nina's caught between her old love and her old friend. You know what I mean? That might be a little bit more. So I'm really excited about this. It just sounds so good. It sounds so good, and I've been wanting a love triangle. Okay, because it's so hard to find a adult book that has a love triangle, and I believe this is new adult. I found it in, it's not in the YA section, so I'm assuming this is adult. So I need that. I need this. Sorry, I am running out of storage space on my phone, so we're gonna see if we can finish this up. If not, the quality is going to change. But the next book that I got is To You at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne. This is the third book in the Tomes and Tea series. I've read the first two. If you guys do not know, this is a cozy, sapphic fantasy romantasy about these two women. We have, I think it's Kianth. Yeah, Kianth and Raina. One of them was the Queen's Guard, and the other one was this powerful mage. And they decide that they don't want to live that life anymore. So they like literally run off and open up a tea and bookshop. So this is the third book in the series, like I said, and I can't wait to get to it in the cozier months. Okay, so the next book that I got is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. This is a book that literally everybody is talking about. This is another high fantasy, and in this one we are following our main character, Skiona, Skiona, and she basically wants to be a part of the high magistry, but because she's a woman, she is seen as less than. So they partner her up with the janitor, but little do they know that the janitor was actually some sort of like powerful guy back in the day. I don't know exactly how. And then we see them as she goes through all these trials and tribulations and overcomes them, right? And it is literally like feminist fantasy at its finest, from what I've heard, and I am excited to be reading this. Okay, so the next book that I got is the other book that has been compared to K-pop Demon Hunters, and that is The God and the Gumiho by Sophie Kim. They said that this one is like The Wicked Fox or something like that, but made adult. And this one, there also is a love triangle, and I believe it is some sort of mythology, maybe. I don't know exactly what this is about. I kind of want to go into this blindly, so I don't really want to read the back. But if you like K-pop Demon Hunters, this is one of the books that was recommended. This was the one that was like so anticipated for me. I really really wanted this book, so I am so happy that I managed to find this, and not only managed to find it but got it for a BOGO deal. So I picked this one up, and I'm excited to read this one as well. Okay, so the next book that I got was The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. I can't remember if this is in the top 5 or the top 10 of the most recommended books, high fantasy books for beginners. I don't know what this is about. I think this is about like a guy that was a thief, I'm not mistaken, something like that. I don't know too much about what this is about, but I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I heard that this is a little bit more of a slower paced book, but that it's really beautiful and enjoyable, and there is a sequel to this as well, so I can't wait to get to this. And it's a chunky boy. It's a chunky boy. Okay, so the next book that I got was Grave Empire by Richard Swan. You guys probably saw me looking at this in the bookstore, but this is, I've always wanted to read a Richard Swan book, and there's another series, A Tyranny of something. I'll put it here, that I've been wanting to read, but I can never find it at Barnes and Noble. I know that I could probably just possibly order it, but I just haven't. And so I picked this one up since I saw it. This is a start of a new series that I heard you don't need to read that series in order to read this one. This is more like a darker, gothic-y horror type of high fantasy, in which we are following this kingdom, the Empire of the Wolf Kingdom, and then dark days are coming. There's this plague that kind of overtakes the kingdom, and then these monks predict that the end days are coming, and it's up to this person named Renata Rayner in order to save the world. So I'm excited for this one. I've always wanted to read a Richard Swan book, so we're gonna start with this one instead of the one that I wanted, because I still have yet to order that one. Okay, you guys, so we have gotten to the last book, but to show you guys my last book, I need to show you why I got this. So my last book is Malice by John Gwynne, and this is the same author that wrote the Shadow of the Gods series. I've heard that you should read this one first. I've heard that you should read Shadow of the Gods first, but according to the ranking, the high fantasy ranking, you should read Shadow of the Gods first because that was recommended more. And the reason why I got this one, I already have this book, but I hate mass market paperback, and I ended up getting mass market paperback in on Amazon. So I don't trust Amazon to get any high fantasy books because this is what I get sent. I never get sent the actual big decent size. So I am giving this one away to a friend, and I am keeping the bigger size. I don't know what this is about. The world is broken and it can never be made whole again, and we are falling for characters. It is high fantasy, epic fantasy, and I just can't wait to read it. So that is literally all the books that I got, you guys. As you can see, there was a lot. And it's a total of, I don't even know how many books. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And make sure to subscribe and hit that like button and all that jazz for more. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!